speakers today are Don and Jeanne Weaver. Don joined the Army as an infantry officer in 1968 during the Vietnam era. He served for 13 months on the Korean DMZ and spent 2 years as a basic training company commander. In 1974, Don earned a master's degree in international relations, followed by an appointment in the United States Foreign Service, which he served in for the next 40 years. During that time, he and his wife Jeanne had 4 children and spent more than 18 years in Africa and Eastern Europe, representing our country and serving in many capacities in 8 embassies. Don learned 5 foreign languages, I didn't know you knew one, and visited 105 countries by the time he left the government. He earned a number of State Department awards, including their Superior Honor Award. In 2018, Don was awarded the Governor's Service Medal, and he continues his service to our veterans by his participation in many veteran service organizations, including serving as the president of the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center and chairman, Good Deeds Foundation, Military Officers Association of America, Cape Canaveral chapter. Now I speak about the stronger part of the team. Jeanne graduated from college in 1969, where she studied art and speech communications. As she accompanied Don throughout their years with the Foreign Service, she was able to use those skills to become a community liaison officer with the State Department, earning numerous awards, including 2 Meritorious Service Awards and a Superior Honor Award. She also served as an editor-in-chief of the weekly newsletter, became the director of an American International Preschool, and was an events coordinator for an ambassador, all the while studying oil painting and conducting art enrichment classes. Don and Jeanne grew up in the Space Coast and were married in Cocoa Beach in 1970. Almost every year of their career, Don and Jeanne brought their family home to Brevard County for vacations. 2 sons served in the Army as Army officers, and 2 daughters live and work in Virginia. Their youngest son, First Lieutenant Todd Weaver, United States Army, while on his 2nd deployment, was killed in combat on September 9, 2010, while leading a night patrol in Kandahar, the birthplace of the Taliban. Todd was one of hundreds of thousands of today's youth who led America's response after the 9/11 attacks. As Gold Star parents, Don and Jeanne strive to find ways to honor America's fallen, knowing they cannot change what happened to their family, but can remind other Americans about the cost of freedom, while honoring the memory of Todd and all who have made the ultimate sacrifice as a result of their military service to the United States. Jeanne honored their son through the creation of a series of 21 oil paintings and essays that were published in her book, Losing Todd, A Mother's Journey. The book was published by the Muscarel Museum of Art and the College of William and Mary, where she was presented the Distinguished Honorary Alumni Award for creating their lasting legacy to the memory of their son. Don and Jeanne, it is now your turn.
I'm so very proud of my husband. He's such an amazing husband, father, and patriot, and volunteer for our armed forces. Thank you, Don. I have chosen to read from my book today, Losing Todd, A Mother's Journey, Finding Peace in My Heart. The excerpt is entitled, Among the Hills of Valor. It is October 14th, 2010. The sun shines brightly on the glistening grass and the wet pavement from the noontime rain. As the band plays in the distant background, she stands, stoic yet demure, her beautiful brunette hair streaming down below her black-rimmed hat. She watches the Army Old Guard of Arlington National Cemetery flawlessly transfer her husband's casket to the old guard caisson. The band moves forward to begin the procession. The drummer taps his drum. Diddly-dum, dum, dum, diddly-dum, dum, dum. Next, the color guard. Then the caisson with a team of 6 white caisson horses and 3 soldiers riding erect join behind the color guard. A 7th caisson horse rides unharnessed. This horse symbolizes the fallen soldier. It is silent. All that can be heard are the hooves of the horses and the diddly-dum, dum, dum, diddly-dum, dum, dum, diddly-dum, dum, dum. She moves forward. The family follows: sisters, brother, nieces, nephews, his mother, and his 1-year-old baby daughter carried by his father. Other relatives follow behind. Close to 300 others who have traveled from near and far follow in the procession, a respectable distance behind. Diddly-dum, dum, dum, continues the drummer. Quiet steps by the old guard carries a casket for the caisson to his final resting place in section 60. While Amazing Grace plays in the distance, the flag is loosened, stretched out, held taut above, shading and protecting the shimmering silver-colored casket. The chaplain begins to speak at the end of his service. He says, "This soldier went into combat with his faith in the Lord. He went without fear. He did so because he wanted to pass on to future generations freedom. The freedom our forefathers had given us as part of the long line that continues to give us freedom." White gloved hands fold the flag with precision, while in the background, the Army band plays "America the Beautiful." And the chaplain says, "For our comrade in arms, the nation now bestows its military honors. In his life, he honored our nation's flag. Now, in his death, our nation's flag shall honor him." The flag is saluted one last time. A salute of 21 guns. A lone bugler in the distance among the shining diamond white marble headstones plays taps. The flag is handed to the general. She kneels quietly before his baby daughter, who is sitting on her mother's lap, and hands the flag to her. The baby lovingly smiles. Our son Todd was killed in Kandahar, Afghanistan, September 9th, 2010, while leading his men on a nighttime maneuver. Today, he rests among the rolling hills of valor of Arlington National Cemetery. In that honor, he takes his place in our history with many of our nation's heroes. And so today, this Memorial Day, we honor all who are laid to rest here at Cape Canaveral National Cemetery and the many other cemeteries throughout our nation. They have put service to country before self. Thank you.